And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. Vlogcast comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because I really wanted to make this not safe for work part 2, but the just feel quite right. Although, in retrospect, I'm kind of rethinking that. Part of this is to follow through with the old adage that sometimes the journey is more important than the. I'm your main host. I'm Shujin Tribble. You can find me pretty much everywhere under that name. That's Shujin. Those of you that are watching on YouTube might recognize that there's some shenanigans right now going on, and sorry about that. It will be what it will be. At the moment, consistently being able to talk with me from the right-hand coast of the U.S., UnrenownedTech. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I may seem a little softer spoken. I'm just in a different section of the coast today, so I'm trying not to disturb neighbors that my regular neighbors.
And at the moment, we are trying desperately to get Brigid to be able to speak with us. Hun, can you say hi? Not at the moment. All right. Well, that's gonna be joy. All right. We'll see what happens. The good part about it, though, is I hate to indulge a little, but since UnrenownedTech and I have both worked technical support before, I know full well that he's probably going to end up turning the microphone off and tappity like crazy. Considering that Brigid's on a mobile, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. So we'll see how that plays. For those of you that are looking to join us at any point, hi, thank you very much. You can join us over on the live chat over there if you go look. That's annoying for me because right now my camera is actually flipped horizontally from what it's supposed to be. I don't know why, but it's because of annoyance. Be that as it may. So thanks for joining us while we're going ahead and doing this. Stephanie, good morning. Good to be over there. And Elinatron. My right ear is plugged up. Well, you know what? Don't use a candle to unplug it. Good morning over there too. Yeah, this is going to be a
There's going to be F-bombs.
possibly.
Oh,
We'll
and I do
see.
want to point out real quick, backtrack one thing to the microphone tappy tappy. The worst thing you can do, and this is coming from a sound tech,
Mhm.
is tap the microphone with your fingers. Talk into it, people. Don't bang it. It's not a prom date.
I will. Okay. Not quite sure what you're referring to in this case, but what do you mean? What do you mean for trying to test if the microphone's
Don't
live?
when you're testing a microphone, tapping the microphone can actually cause the pickup to become damaged, depending on the sensitivity, the brand, all that fun stuff. So when you're testing a microphone, you speak into it, testing one, two, three, say a couple lines of Shakespeare, something like that.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Me, uh, every once in a while, I will snap my finger near my microphone to find out which input is currently being selected. Is it the webcam or is it the decent microphone over here? And there's definitely a decided difference between the two in overall sound.
Agreed. Ooh.
Yeah, I was moving the arm. Sorry. By the way, I did get the opportunity of spending part of the day with my kid over at college for a little bit, and we went through the store. It's going to be back. It's going to be reversed on the camera input because I don't know the hell the tech stuff is screwed up. But I acquired four containers of Tim Tams.
Oh, you bastard.
Four of them, which.
What's worse is if you're like me and you love dark chocolate, the Tim Tams with the dark chocolate. It's basically it's a mixture of dark chocolate and milk chocolate. Oh my God. I swear, they designed those to kill people with a diabetic coma, people like me.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't have dark chocolate version. They did have the original, which I got the four out of. There was also
Original's great.
they also had the caramel version, and I
That's
said,
not bad.
yeah,
I
but
mean, it's not great, but compared to other caramel cookies I've had, theirs is not that like pull your caps off your teeth kind of caramel.
yeah, but
But I like their mint, which is
okay.
odd because I don't really like mint cookies all that much, and their mint cookies are delicious,
Oh,
especially in ice cream.
I'm on board with you. I'm on board. For those of you that are unaware, Tim Tams, the best way that I've been describing it to people is imagine Kit Kat done well. That's the best way that I can describe it to people. And those of you that ever want to try it, it is a rectangle of wafer with chocolate covering. The best way to eat it is to nibble off opposing corners, dip one corner into your coffee or hot chocolate, slurp the beverage through from the other corner, and once you start to get liquid out the other side, I know what you're thinking, but it's not the same thing. Pop the whole damn thing into your face and just enjoy chocolate decadence.
And here's a fun fact about Tim Tams. So Tim Tams were originally a product made in Australia. They're now owned by a U.S. firm, but um, to meet the demands, because they're so popular in Australia and they're pretty popular here in the U.S. as well as other places, they still make the biscuit that goes in the Tim Tam in Australia.
As they should. As they should. And, Allie, yes, colloquially referred to as Tiny Tribble. So that works out good. And that has been Tiny's nickname basically for the entirety of his life. So that works out well, considering. Anyway, um, in the meanwhile, uh, Brigid, let me ask one more time. Are you there and with us? Can you talk? Nothing yet. Okay, so Tech, you do your thing and see how well you can work off of this, and we'll see how this plays out. Because, like I said, I am not expecting us to run the whole show tonight for reasons. Okay, I'm just gonna see. I'm just gonna say reasons. Y'all can try to figure it all out for. In the meanwhile, uh, Stephanie, you're quite right. But he's already gone ahead and said, Tiny Dribble is perfectly fine and acceptable, however long it's going to be. We'll see how it lays. So let me get things started over here with 5 minutes on the
Formerly known
clock.
as Tiny Trouble.
With 5 minutes on the clock, your freestyle has already gotten started. I'm calling it forgetting. Um, no, uh, no. As a matter of fact, we are not forgetting. Some people will have forgotten. Some people might not have. I'm one of those people for whom I'm not forgetting because I'm not forgiving. When it happened, we put out an official that said that we will respect the family and we will not kick the dead. Well, been long enough. And just as of, I believe it's yesterday from the time of recording, or regardless, within the last 72 hours, it's been 2 years since Rush Limbaugh shuffled off his obese mortal coil and left the world a finer place for it. We're not gonna forget. You've had your respectable amount of time for family to grieve for the people who are close to you to have had a respectable opportunity, which is far and away better and more than you did to all of those people that you maligned over the years, all for the almighty dollar. You sanctimonious, pompous ass.
Who, me?
Not you.
I was gonna say my phone it's just spinning. It doesn't want to join. It's annoying me.
Well, it's talking now. Good.
Well, I'm using my mom's computer, so there you go.
Thank you. So, Mr. Lim, you absolute rotund. The only thing that I can say, right now is that you have become a biological magnet. And it's something that we can't exactly say happens very often. Biological magnet for people to piss on. Grave. And I, for one, I support this wholeheartedly. Absolutely. Because even with that, even with the water stains and the urea marks digging into the headstone that is there for you, it is still scads better than what you did to the people whose lives you malign. You, sir, are an absolute stain on humanity's record. And trust me, there have been a number of them. But the worst part about the whole damn thing, the worst part about it, you can't even be here to appreciate the level of vitriol that is still left behind. What has been left behind for your legacy, dear sir, is that we know what kind of a personality you had been for all those years. May whatever God have mercy on your soul. May the ferryman dump your ass into the river Styx. And when all is said and done, may there be a special level of hell to absolutely eviscerate you over and over and over again, the likes of which Greek tragedies and mythology could never have surmised could be possible. Fuck you. As far as I'm concerned, I don't need to say anything else. I may have had an extra 25 seconds still left on the clock. I don't care. At this point, I don't care. And let folks understand, there is stuff going on behind the scenes right now. To wit, I am an unhappy camper. I gave serious consideration to deciding not to even show because of how I am feeling right now. And no, I'm not going to explain what's going on. It's very likely that the information will get out there eventually and it'll all make sense once the context is, but I'm not a happy camper. I'm not going to be a happy camper. And you know the expression, you do for family? You've said before, you have family of choice as well. Doesn't change the fact that it's family. Gotta do. If I'm vague booking a little bit, sorry. It's just the way it's gonna be. We'll deal with this as best. So we do have a show to do, however. So go ahead and get things rolling over here. and we will get to the horrible scopes and see how this plays out. So, Brigid, just as an awareness, your mic level is quite impressive when it was on. So, I don't know how well we're going to be able to work with this one, but we'll get this.
I'll talk very quietly. I'm sorry.
No, it's. Oh,
Her level's
trying to
coming in
talk-
fine for me.
I'm
Well-
trying to come in very quietly.
it's different on my side. That's why I kind of work with it.
Yeah, well, I'm on my mom's computer. What can I say? I'll see if I can enjoy.
No, you're
Adjust the input.
you're fine right now like that. It's
Earlier, and I'm sure it was interesting. I'm sorry.
is what it is. And Dalan's probably gonna listen to it later and just be like, nothing I can do with
My
that.
eardrums are blown out. Oops.
Is what it is.
So,
So
like I said in chat, you came in at the perfect time in that 5-minute freestyle. That was freaking hilarious.
I'm so sorry.
So let's get the horrible scopes and we'll kind of work from there. So, as said, it is time for those. If you know what your astrological sign is, cool. If you don't, I don't care. Roll a d12. It's not going to make any kind of a difference. And since all you guys made mockeries of the theme last week, congratulations. There will be no theme whatsoever this week. Enjoy it. Aries, according to the cube rule of food, yes, that's a thing, a sandwich is defined as having an independent structural carb on opposing sides to the filling. You know, like a hamburger. However, a club sandwich, which is a double-decker BLT with poultry and an additional slab of bread in the middle, is correctly defined by this as cake. Have fun eating your BLT cake this week.
It's got bacon in it. Who cares?
That's a good point.
Taurus, start the countdown and buy your supplies now. It's less than 250 days until Halloween, and you need to make a splash this year. And on throwing a party themed around historical figures, and you'll be Amelia Earhart. And when your guests arrive, you can be in Hawaii.
God. Gemini, your capacity to remember commercial jingles from the 70s is only as impressive as how localized these same commercials are. Nobody knows what the Milford Plaza is, or where Puppy City is, or what discounts on slacks are available at M&K. Turn all that knowledge into a trivia game. And don't forget, our prices are insane.
Yeah, but everybody knows, even though it was localized.
I would beg to differ, but that's a different conversation.
You and me, we both know Puppy City and the Milford Plaza because...
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Cancer Moon Child, yes, you can play a flight sim or a space sim or a racing sim with a mouse and keyboard, but they're all more fun with a dedicated control. But for you freaks driving train sims, those dedicated controllers look like something out of a Minuteman silo. Y'all freaks.
Leah, look up into the night sky. Somewhere about 200 kilometers over your head at over 27,000 kilometers per hour, there's a hunk of metal that, upon impact, would turn you into a finer mist than Doom's BFG 9000 could ever hope to accomplish. Next time you start feeling romantic, just remember it's up there, waiting patiently, while traveling 3 times faster than any bullet on Earth. Just waiting for you to get into space so it can bite you.
Virgo, have you watched Smokey and the Bandit? You better not watch Burt Reynolds in that movie because he does not know how to operate a CB radio microphone. Okay, so just watch how he talks into it. He grips the mic switch and never, Let's go. CBs don't work that way. Jerry should have taught you better.
Yeah, I do homework on these. So anybody that wants to go ahead and be very upset about that,
Google it.
come at me. Come at me. Libra. Lup douge. Hom milch. Lu teb gar mech. If you'd taken up learning Klingon like we told you last week, you'd be laughing right now. You uncultured pitak. And no, I am not going to translate it for anybody. On your own.
I do have Duolingo. Maybe I can figure it out.
Good luck.
Scorpio, where did we go wrong with you, Aquarius? We have tried for months, seriously months, to be nicer to you. We bent the rules of the cosmos and worked on making you feel more included and supported and Oh, sorry, Scorpio. Mistook you for Aquarius there. Forget about it. I'll get an ophthalmological examination scheduled this week.
You were the medically trained one in the group. How the hell did you screw that up?
I don't know. Well, I do know. I'll explain later.
I just want to say that I'm very upset with you for confusing Scorpio and Aquarius. Just saying. Sagittarius, let me screw you all up. The original USS Enterprise on Star Trek should have looked more like the Reliant from The Wrath of Khan. The only reason it looked the way it did was because Walt Jeffries had the design upside down across the table, or handed it the design upside down across the table to Gene Roddenberry, and he approved it all the way. So turn your best work upside down, and somebody else will stamp their approval on it, especially if you work for the government.
Again, I did my homework. I found out about that. Capricorn, there is a company that sells pillows with specialized photo printing on them. You know what their hottest seller is? A picture of a Samsung Galaxy Note 7. It's the perfect puffy size. Why couldn't you come up with something like that fun to sell? Or maybe you still can. So you go ahead, do the same thing, only make it self-heating for the winter months. You add a Bluetooth speaker to it. I got into a thing last night where people were just like, wait a minute, isn't that the... Yeah, it is. So these are the ones that are supposed to be used like a hand grenade? Yes, they are. I don't want to put my head on something that's puffy like that looks like a... Yeah, you do.
Aquarius.
I'll take my waifu pillow.
Yeah. Sorry about the mix-up there. Hey, look. We're still in your star sign. So, yeah. Look, we all know how this is going to end. Neither one of us is going to budge on this scope until the heat death of the universe. So, let's just agree not to get in each other's way down the stairs, okay?
Of course, I get this one. Pisces.
There is a story behind this one, and I will tell you what it is after.
Pisces, here's the naughty one that was held over from last week. Buy a container of KY jelly, find the consumer helpline phone number on it, and give it a call. Let the person know that you are impressed with the spreadability of the product, but dissatisfied with the flavor, requesting information on any berry flavored versions. Just make sure you only do this on April 1st. Okay, as an aside, please don't. I guarantee you they've heard everything.
The story behind this is when I used to work at the drugstore at my first job back in the 80s, one of the girls did exactly that.
Ew.
She didn't do it. The spreadability, she called to try to find out if there were different flavors.
Oh.
So those are your horrible scopes for this week. Remember, if you like what you got,
If you like what you got, you're probably Pisces.
I don't know what it is. What it is. Y'all were screws to me last week, so screw you this time. I'll have these posted at the end of the week. Usual spots: Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, all that stuff. So you can read for yourself and try to figure out what to do for yourselves. I don't know. Episode 441 on the docket rotter. Louder for the back row. Another school shooting here in the United States. At a college university level this time. Fast approaching an average of one a day in my country. And one of the legislators, the House Democratic Whip and the Michigan House of Representatives, finally said officially what so many of us have said time and time again. Fuck your thoughts and prayers. Here's the best part. I can get away with saying this. That's a direct quote. He finally called it out. Somebody finally got pissed off enough to just say, you know what? People don't want to be don't want to be caring about this stuff. Fine. We've said that decorum doesn't get followed anymore, and this is one of those times where you know what? I'm on board with this guy, and decorum be damned. It's worth going ahead and saying, fine. Fuck your insincerity, because if you're not going to do anything to solve the problem, stop pretending that you even give a care. I want to take a little bit of time to go ahead and have a little bit of fun, because if this one might be the opening that's been necessary, geez, wouldn't it be nice to have the Democratic Party in the United States finally just saying, decorum's out the window? Fine, let's have it out. Geez, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So the news article about the whole thing is linked in the show notes, so folks can read over, because it kind of forwarded over into my circles, and that's when I said, you know what? That's what we're doing. Oh no. I just read the live chat. Stephanie said, and this is kind of backtracking a little bit. Idle comment. One of the skills that the Ukrainian army is looking for in recruits is ability with joysticks on computer games. This means they will learn to handle modern weaponry faster. This is otherwise known as the Centauri Gambit, because that's how Alex Rogan was recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Xur, Kodan Armada. Yeah, I'm a child of the... So yeah, so we got... So I'm assuming that you guys got the chance to take a look at some of that news article. Wondering what kind of stuff you guys have got to say.
Well, I mean, it seems to just be a daily thing now. And if you read what I just put in chat, that one blows my mind.
I seriously want out of this country.
Yeah,
I,
me
I
too.
can't leave, but I wish I could. I really do. People say, oh, anybody can just up and leave if they want to go. And it's like, it depends. Some people literally don't have the money necessary to leave. Others, while they might have the money, can't because they have um, responsibilities that they refuse to just drop into somebody else's lap or abandon,
Yeah.
um, such as myself. Okay. And it's when I look at what Ron DeSantis is doing over in Florida, what's going on in Virginia, what's going on in Utah, in Ohio, in all these other states where they're quite literally, abolishing regulation that protects people from being taken advantage of, that protects children from being taken advantage of, under the guise of, oh, well, we're protecting the people, we're protecting the children. It's like, no, you're not. You're causing more harm. You cannot tell me that making it easy for a 13-year-old or a 16-year-old to go into a store and buy a gun without needing a gun license, but they're not allowed to have an abortion is okay, then you are seriously messed up in the head. You should not be holding any kind of political office. You should not be in any form of authority whatsoever. And we're moving to a wealth based oligarchy.
Hmm.
I mean, we are not a democracy anymore. We are a democracy in name only, and we're a democratic republic in name, technically. Um,
Yeah.
with some socialism based programs to support the people because they were good ideas at the time, that are still good ideas, but the wealthy realize they can make money off of them and are trying to get rid of them. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the rails derailment in Ohio. The reason why it happened was because they didn't want to spend money, they wanted to make money. And they make money by hurting others. And the fines that they're going to pay, if any at all, are going to just be the cost of doing business. And it's going to be a drop in the bucket in their profit margins, a drop in the bucket. Yet they can't afford to pay anybody a living wage because, you know, that's another drop in the bucket. You can't have two drops in the bucket, only one at a time. When you have, oh, hey, I got accepted to a college that I really wanted to go to, but I can't afford it. And then you look at other countries that don't have the wealth that we do overall, and they can go to any college they want to,
Yeah.
and it's paid for. Well, I hear the argument all the time, oh, well, we have the best military. No, we don't.
So don't.
No, we don't. I've talked to some of our military people, the people who are actually on the lines and handle weapon design, implementation, and sales and things like that. We are not number one. We're number one in certain areas, but overall, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Sideways from that, when I've had the opportunity to talk with a couple of guys from the Canadian military, active duty currently, um, one of which is a number cruncher, by the way. So just go with me on this one for a second. Every time that we've talked about it, and it's not like it's the only thing that comes up, but the few times when it's come up, they've reminded me Canadian military invests in quality people in their military. They don't have the largest number of people. They have highly qualified people. So whenever it's a question mark of great, we've got the largest standing army. That's nice. You can throw as many.
China does.
I, I know it is, but humor me for a second because there's There's more than just the individual. Throwing a whole bunch of ants at a problem that is the size of a car still doesn't change the fact that the problem is still the size of a car. You can throw as many people as you want at it. You can throw as much money as you want at the situation. But unless you actually know how to invest in better, it's just wasted lives. And that's at the detriment to a whole bunch of other things. Anybody that took any kind of economics course knows supply and demand. Okay, that's a great piece right there. Profit margins, that's a great. And then there's the whole thing about what you spend in one place is money that can't be spent somewhere else.
And on top of all that, some YouTuber made like a 15-minute video argument of how we can't get invaded because if anybody tries to invade us, we have the largest amount of guns per household per capita, or whatever it was, than any other country. It's like, okay, sure, yeah. But here's the thing, it's just regular ammunition. When you have an invading force that has grenade launchers and bombers and tanks
And sonic weapons.
and armor piercing rounds, okay,
And sonic
your
weapons.
house is not a fort.
All right.
Sonic weapons, sure. Your house is not bulletproof. Your standard bulletproof stuff that a civilian can get, which, by the way, civilians can buy bulletproof vests. Okay, there's like bulletproof generation 1, generation 2, generation 3. I think we're up to generation 4 or 5 at this point. Whatever the latest generation is, it's military only. I forget what number it is. I honestly can't remember, and it's probably not that important at this time. But the thing is, that you can get, I think, something up to akin to what the police can get at most, and a steel jacketed rifle round that's designed for armor piercing, which many countries have, is going to punch a hole right through your heart. So good luck with that.
Well, I'm sure an
And
Abrams tank would do damage too.
yeah, I mean, a tank will just roll right through your house.
Yep.
And good luck. The average person who does own multiple guns, even if they have an AR-15 or whatever the hell is their favorite weapon of choice, does not have something that is going to stop a tank. They don't have something that can even stop a Bradley.
And Stephanie has also pointed out, which kind of stepping back just a little bit, look at the Ukrainian war. The Russians have massed troops and are losing them at a current rate of over 800 a day. Yesterday, apparently, as we're recording, yesterday was over 1,000. Total currently standing at about 150,000. Plus,
and that's because of how they went about doing it. But if you're trying to invade the U.S. and you're going straight for the U.S. borders to do it, you're not going to take the walking, sneaky approach that Russia did that, hey, we're just here to liberate the people, blah, blah, blah. Whoever comes trying to invade the U.S. is going to come in guns blazing, and they're going to be fully committed. They can't. Russia half-assed the initial invasion of Ukraine. That's why they have so many deaths. They're not fully committed. They may sound like it, but they're not really. They're trying different tactics, they're doing different things. But in my opinion, based on what we see coming out of Ukraine, what we see coming out of Russia, what we see coming off the various news channels here in the US and other countries, they half-assed it.
Yeah.
Now, that may change in the future. And if I honestly think, and I could be wrong, because I don't know all of Russia's military strengths and weaknesses and everything else, because that's what Russia knows. I think if they got their act together and said, the hell with it, we're just going to bulldoze Ukraine, screw all the people there, we're going on a genocidal run, that Ukraine would not exist anymore.
Yep, that's true.
that is highly probable.
So if anybody comes invading the U.S., it's most likely not to take prisoners. It's most likely not to give a damn about the suburbs and burbs and rural areas. They're going to plow through whatever they need to plow through to get to their targets and do whatever it's going to do. And before they even get here, it's probably going to be an aerial splash space battle, launch a missile up
Mhm.
into space and then it comes back down again. So I don't think the people who are left behind after the initial bombardment are going to be too worried about fighting a tank with a gun. They'll be in hiding.
Right.
The only thing that these folks will have going for them is that maybe they're the weird ones that have already made concrete bunkers for themselves underneath the the garage for the car.
And even those have weaknesses. I mean, if we get hit with, let's say, a biological attack, those bunkers have airflow.
Yep.
Your average Johnny homeowner who makes a concrete bunker is pulling in outside air. It is not
Mhm.
a closed air system. And they could get smoked out, they could get tear gassed out, they could get biological airborne dead. Heck, they could probably get drowned if they don't have the sump pump.
Or if they just plow through the house, various cleaning supplies could just all intermingle, and well, then you got a whole other problem to worry about. But
But the point is that they're not military grade
no,
things.
not by a long shot.
And for anybody who bought retired military bunkers and military base, the silos that they sell out in the mid
Yeah,
west
ripped
and
off.
such, those are all known. It's not like you're hiding in an area where they don't know where they exist. They might not care about them initially, but they might backtrack later when they have time just to clear it out.
Mm.
It all depends on what they would be invading for. If they were an invading force to stay, then yeah, they might clear it out. If they were just invading, trying to get certain things and maybe do some cleaning out of some minerals or resources, and then they leave town, they might leave you alone. It's a coin toss. It all depends on what the hell's going on and why it's happening. And there's no way I could predict anything like that. That's not my
Mhm.
field of expertise. I fix computers. That's what I'm good at.
Right.
So
But the point is that for a country that cares about its guns so much, we sure don't seem to give a shit about the kids getting shot up by them. Well,
Mhm.
unless you ask DeSantis down in Florida, because he apparently said that we spent uh, X amount of dollars in Florida trying to protect, setting up to protect the kids. It was like, uh,
Yeah.
at the same time you're burning books. Sure, yeah, okay, I believe you. No, 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 I don't.
yeah, what's that? What's that expression? Uh, Whenever history looks back, the people who are burning books have never turned out to be the good guys.
Yeah. I, had started hearing stories about that. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. A substitute teacher got fired for showing a video of empty bookshelves in the classroom, and I think it was the library, and the problem that the school had with that was is that he only showed part of the room. The other part of the room had books, but what the school doesn't want people to know is that the other part of the room that had the books covered up with papers so that nobody could see the spines or the names or anything like that, because the DeSantis wants to make it so that if the books aren't approved, they can't be shown to kids. So when the guy made the video, a reporter approached DeSantis on it after shortly talking about, gun reform or whatever, and him bragging about they spent X amount of dollars, making their schools safer. And he said, well, it's incomplete. They're controlling the narrative, blah blah blah. It's fake video and all that. And then the teacher was fired.
Well, I'm still tripping out over the 6-year-old that shot their teacher.
I think the parents should go to jail and the kids should go to
Oh, yeah.
therapy.
I
Yeah.
missed
Oh,
this one.
and
You
speaking of
missed that
punishing
one?
people, and speaking of punishing people, I think the people in charge of making the decision to not upgrade the brakes on the rail system that caused the Ohio derailment, instead of getting the company fined, I think everybody in charge of making that decision, including the top level executives, should go to jail. Forget a fine. Put the executives in jail and make them serve their entire term in prison. Same for those executives that actually at the meatpacking plants that put like 100 plus kids on the lines. And they only ended up paying, I think it was a $1.5 million fine per kid, which is a drop in the bucket in their profit margin. So instead of paying the fine, which is only for rich, means that rich people can break the rules and the regular people like us can't, stick the executives in jail. Like blue
Yeah.
collar prison, not white collar executive prison, but blue collar prison, where they might get shanked by one of the blood.
So, back with,
In case you didn't hear about the 6-year-old,
yeah, I didn't.
it was cut. You did?
Oh God,
I did
yeah.
not.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, a 6-year-old brought a gun to school and it was premeditated, shot his teacher. And the school administration knew that this kid was, trouble. And, teacher had tried to warn the school, about the student. And then they were like, well, school day's almost over anyway. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. But it was intentional.
Oh,
It was
it goes beyond that.
premeditated. That was bizarre.
So first off, this happened in Virginia, the same state that wants to make it really easy for younger kids to get guns
Yeah.
without a license.
And bring them to school.
Yeah, but little Susie, who's 13 years old, who got raped by a family member, can't have an abortion because that's just wrong.
I'm going to circle
So,
back around to that in a minute, though. Go on.
yeah. So apparently, there was multiple warnings about this kid with a gun. Okay, one kid went to a teacher saying that the kid had been threatened by the student with the gun, that if he told anybody, that he would shoot him. And so he told the teacher anyway, feeling that threat was real. And apparently the police came, but by the time the police got there, the kid had taken the gun out of his bag and put it on his person, and they only searched his bag. And since they didn't find anything in the bag, they dismissed it. But there was another warning. I forget what that one was. But when it finally got to the people at the higher decision level, like Brigid said, the school dismissed it, saying, "Oh well, it's the end of the day. If it hasn't happened by now, it's not going to happen."
Version for the hubris.
Well, at least it didn't kill her, but it went through her hand and did go through her chest. I mean, that blew my mind.
But yeah, according to the attorney, there was 3 warnings. Um, it was over the course of a few hours. 3 times the school administration was warned by teachers and employees that the boy had a gun on in the school and was threatening people. So at 12:30, so this is according to the attorney. I'll link the other article. This one's the BBC one. But at 12:30, so a little afternoon, a teacher reported that she had searched the young boy's backpack, believing to have a gun, didn't find one, told the official the boy may have put the gun in his pocket. Another teacher, at half an hour later, said that the gun had been shown to another child and had been threatened to shoot if told. Um, a different employee shortly thereafter asked if they could go ahead search the boy and the backpack, but was told to wait until the school day because the school day was almost over.
So now,
And another news report says that the police were, I'm guessing this school police officer was part of the search process. As far as I know, most schools that can search backpacks usually have a school police officer. So it's going to be interesting trying to figure out where the true nitty gritty details are, because I did not originally read the BBC article.
so now we have a teacher that I can well imagine would say, I'm not coming back.
I wouldn't go back.
A nation of other teachers who, seeing this and seeing how it would be dealt with, are going to really second guess whether or not they should stay in it. And the child's life is effectively ruined. Family's life is effectively ruined. Their classmates in that school and school district will be shaken forever. Any kid that goes into that classroom, any teacher that goes into that classroom ever after, is going to have the reverberation of it forever. And there's not a damn thing to do about it. What I was going to circle around to, by the way, whereas to on the abortion side, because this actually falls in line with congratulations to the Satanic Temple for starting another after-school Satan club and having a good time of that over there in Binghamton, I think, somewhere out Broome County, New York, along the southern tier. Folks are not happy about it, but at the same time, what you gonna do about it? Satanic Temple has started offering religious-based medical assistance, reproductive health. They have opened now I don't remember if I've got the name correct, but if I remember correctly, it is named the Samuel Alito's Mother's Abortion Clinic, Satanic Abortion Clinic, something quite like that. I forget exactly what it is, but that's basically what it is, because what they wanted was a name that was going to invoke the idea that, and near as I can quote them on this one, if only Samuel Alito's mother had access to legal abortion, he never would have penned the legislations that he signed his name. Not legislations, but I mean the court answers.
Repairs and stuff.
So good on them, because they're doing the smart thing. They're setting up in states here in the United States where there are RFRA laws. Brigid, you love this topic almost as much as any of us. You want to explain what RFRA is for folks that don't speak abbreviation?
It's the Restoration of Freedom Religious Act or something like that. Or Religious Freedom Restoration Act. But basically giving people the right to discriminate against other people if they're not the right religion.
And Stephanie's come to my... You are so good. You don't know how much I appreciate it right now. Correct me, the Samuel Alito's Mom's Satanic Abortion Clinic. Right there. Yeah, he's another one that I got no problem with people pissing on his grave. Fine by me.
I would too if I could aim worth the darn.
You know what? I don't think it really much matters. Just close enough is good enough for my case. So we're
By the
getting.
way,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the superintendent of the school district where the boy went to school and shot his teacher.
Hmm.
Well, he's stepping down and he's getting $500,000 of severance paid out over 12 months.
Huh.
Just thought you'd like to know.
But stepping down.
He got a vote of no confidence.
After
That's not a stepping down. That's a firing.
Yeah. In one article, they say he stepped down, and in another article, he's saying he's getting fired. Isn't that fun? How the press says one thing in one version and another thing in another version? All for headlines. Either way, he's still walking away for a $500,000 payout over the next year. You know, last I checked, I didn't get fired from a job and make $500,000. I'm in the wrong business.
And I want to make sure that we're really clear on this part. And I think I can speak for the entirety of HCT.
Mm-hmm.
Teachers are not paid damned near enough anyway. I want to be clear about that because it's a separate piece. The fact that a school administrator would be getting a severance of $500,000 over how long a period?
12 months.
Over a year. $500,000 over the course of 12 months as severance. How the hell much was this administrator earning already compared to the people that they were overseeing?
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the details behind this. He's walking away with over $500,000. It's like 502,115.14 and this amount supposedly equals 2 times his salary. So his salary was $250,000 a year as a superintendent. And the reason why he's getting 2 times his salary is because he signed a waiver waiving his right to sue the school district. Say that 12 times fast, kids.
You can't even. I'm not going to try.
For being fired. I would love to have a job where if they fired me, they said, by the way, if you waive this right to sue us for firing you, we're going to pay you 2 times your annual salary.
Yeah.
I would love that. Do you know how many jobs I would get fired from?
All of them. All of the jobs.
Oh my God, I would be fired. I would have a history of terminations as long as my own. All in 1 year, and then I would be set for life.
There's so many.
Do you know how many school supplies you could get with $500,000 for elementary school? Yeah. Instead of making the school teachers who make less than a burger flipper, which neither one is getting paid equal the amount that they deserve, making those people who have no money pay for the shit that should have been paid for. Instead, it's going to asshats like this. Yeah, teachers don't get paid enough. I agree 100%.
Okay.
Like I said, the show might drop a couple F-bombs tonight.
I'm trying exceedingly hard not to.
Here's more F-bombs for you. F-bomb generating material. At Michigan State University, there were several students who have themselves been survivors of school shootings before they got to college. And now they're going through it all over again.
Yeah. that's a piece that I had seen and I knew about. And that's also part of the reason why. And hey, look at this, back on track so that we can dive bomb to the end as quick as we can. Where the guy just said, look, you said thoughts and prayers, for the last 25 years, and what's it gotten us? College and university students who have been through already before. Why?
Yeah, you got nothing.
And it all
You've got
comes,
trauma. That's all you have is trauma.
yeah. Brigid, speaking on the medical side, so to speak, psychologically.
Wait. She said she'll be right back.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm here now.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Psychologically speaking, and I know you're not trained in psychology, but we know that there are trained professionals for helping people through trauma,
Right.
for long-term mental assistance. The only time, to my knowledge, that we have people who help with understanding the societal long-term traumas are what we call, I don't know, historians. But we don't actually have anybody, any group, any organization, any mechanism for helping at a larger than an individual or a small group at a time for coping through trauma like that. Is there any
social workers, but they have such heavy caseloads, they can't do it adequately either.
and you can have it for an individual, a family, maybe even as large as a fractional percentage of a school. But start getting outside of that, and suddenly this country, over the course of 20, let's just arguably call it since the turn of the millennium, we have young adults who have been through school shootings, mass shootings, and now college students who have been through multiple.
Yeah.
What the hell is the long-term effect of that going to be?
PTSD for a bunch of people.
As if we haven't had enough go on, right?
And there's just more and more and more of it. I mean, I had, put in chat, that there's a place not too far from where I'm at now. There was a mass shooting yesterday, and it was a small town of like 200 people, and everybody knows everybody in that town. And my dad and I used to go there on weekends, quite a bit. It's not very far from where I'm at now. And we still don't know why it happened or what the hell happened there. We don't know the motive. And, it's just a very small town, like 200 people. And there were 6 people killed yesterday. And it's like, what the hell? There's no place that's safe.
Let me guess. The shooter was male?
Yep.
Why does that part not surprise?
And taken into custody. He was not killed by the police. They took him into custody. So you can, hate to say this, but you can guess what color he is.
Not swarthy.
Did not have brown skin, because they took him alive. As bad as that sounds, but it's the truth.
Statistics that out.
Yep. And I was just stunned that happened. I mean, and so was my mom, because we know that place. My dad and I used to go there a couple of times a month. And it's, not too far of a drive from here. But I was like, what the hell?
So the question always becomes in a situation like that, the hell's the point?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully eventually we'll find out what the motive is, but that just really shocked me.
How many people have traveled and paid attention to what's called travel advisories?
Yeah.
Like level one, be self-aware. You're a tourist, so don't try not to give off too many tourist vibes to make yourself, to avoid making yourself a mark. To level four, don't go here, you will die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people don't realize, but other countries have travel advisories about us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Yeah. And that's
I
something
mean,
that's been for a while too, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think of this. Australia is an ally of the United States. They work hand in hand. We have been long-term allies. They made they even made commemorative pins for this. Okay, and they've been allies for good reason. And even they have a warning out. Okay, that um, the United States offers a significant risk to Australian citizens visiting
Mm-hmm.
when traveling to the US. Now, they're not warning them off because, again, they're allies, but they are telling them that they should learn active shooter drills if they're going to live in the US, if they're going to travel and move to the US. Um, that gun crime is possible in all areas of the United States of America.
Yep. I've got a friend who used to vacation over here once a year that lives in Australia. He's not coming back here. He feels safer in Singapore.
Yeah. And we've already said before that in Australia, you want to get a gun, you good and goddamn show that you've got need for.
Mm-hmm.
And
If you want to get a gun now, you have to be a criminal in Australia.
uh, the, now I'm thinking back to when we spoke with, I forget who it was, but there was somebody that we spoke with from Australia. And it might have been Jake for Wharton, who I hope he's still. I haven't seen from him recently, or
Mm-hmm.
it could have been Nick Morganmore. I forget which one of them it was, but the idea that uh, generally speaking, the people who are not in the police who do have weapons are typically people who have got long guns because they are out in rural areas and they need it for fending off vermin. And they can show it, they can document it. They've got specific stuff for that. But the general day to day Australian, mm-mm, nope. The police guns have got a specific number of rounds, and you can't buy you can't buy those bullets. So even if you were lucky enough, so to speak, to be able to grab a weapon, you've got like 5 rounds, 11 rounds, whatever that was,
Mm.
and then you just might as well just throw the gun away because you can't do nothing with it.
Well, that's why people carry extra magazines for guns.
Generally speaking, here, yeah, but what I mean is if you were to wrestle a gun away from an Australian police officer, it's just
Yeah.
that's all you got, that's all you need. which, considering, you know what, I would feel much more.
Yep.
But so much of it is really predicated on the overall societal
Mm-hmm.
way.
Okay, I'm looking at the Australian government sites and such, and basically it boils down to like what you said. You basically have to be a farmer, or you have to be part of a government recognized gun club,
Hmm.
where it's basically you're doing sport shooting.
Yeah. And they don't have.
However,
Yes.
however, what they did do is, boy, did they ban a whole lot of firearms. Like any kind of self-loading system, illegal. Period. End of conversation. Have a nice day. Um, whether it's automatic or semi-automatic is immaterial. So rimfire rifles, no. Self-loading center fire rifles, no. Self-loading shotguns and pump-action shotguns, no. Prohibited. Have a nice day. You have them, you're a criminal. They've also outlawed a bunch of other ones: electric batons, tasers, and even ballistic vests. So your
Mm.
average citizen cannot buy a bulletproof vest in Australia.
And let's be clear, average citizen in Aussie doesn't need a ballistic,
Yeah, they need a knife.
if even that.
Well, some places in, Jamaica have gotten pretty rough. Drug cartels and stuff.
By the way, Elitatron, take care, rest well. Thanks for being with us for a little.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm a firm believer that everybody should own a pocket knife, because it's little things. You can open up letters, you can open up packaging. You get a splinter, it's good for that.
It's a tool.
Little things. Yeah, it's a tool. It's a Swiss Army pocket knife. I think every kid should learn how to properly use a basic Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
And like any tool, yes, I can kill somebody with a hammer. However, what you don't hear about is the rash mass killings with Swiss Army pocket knives. When you hear about people who do go on a rampage with a big ass knife, what do you hear? Not that 12, 13, 14 kids were killed, but that several adults were injured. Maybe one dies, but maybe several have life threatening injuries. But you don't typically hear about something like, hey, there have been 67 mass stabbings in the United States, and there's been more of those than there have been days in a year.
And you need to be within,
Arm's length,
yeah,
unless you're throwing it.
and even then, as opposed to having the capacity of hitting somebody from tens of meters away.
Yeah,
But that's,
I mean, you don't hear about somebody going 20 stories up into a hotel and flinging knives down into a crowd, although it wouldn't surprise me in this country if it eventually happens. And that's the sad part. When I hear about school shootings and mass shootings now, I'm not surprised anymore. And that's a bad thing. It should be a shock. It should always be a surprise when something like that occurs. And in this country, it's no longer that. It's, oh, thoughts and prayers, back to business. Fuck their thoughts and prayers.
that's why I'm glad.
Yeah. It needs to be screamed through a bullhorn in front of the Capitol, in front of the Congress, in front of the House of Representatives, in front of every single politician until their ears bleed.
Nothing gets changed. Something gets changed. Stupid, but it's too much.
It sucks. It really sucks. And until it happens to somebody who's important to you, people don't care. Country has this isolationist, um, we're better than everybody else, and what's mine is mine, and you know, you know, if you don't interfere with me, I'm not going to care about you, and it seems like we just don't give a damn until somebody upsets our day. And I mean, look how short-lived the cooperation was after 9/11.
Whole thing about that one, though.
No,
Yeah.
but it's true.
You're right.
We don't, our memories,
They're so
we
short.
don't, um, we ignore them. We don't pay attention to them. We ignore them. Um, we just, we don't care. Other countries care more about their people than we do.
Said earlier, the data bears that.
Yeah, it does. And I have to say that if I was coming from another country, I wouldn't come here for vacation.
No.
Risk of getting shot is too high.
Shit, I'd probably be safer in Ukraine.
To a certain degree, there are areas where that would be true.
Yeah.
Well, at least you would know where the front lines are.
More importantly, if you look at Ukraine, you can see all the people pulling themselves together and helping each other out, and you just don't see that here. And I blame, and part of that I blame on the news because of that
Yeah.
stupid freaking mentality that all the news stations have, all of them, not just one, all of them. And that mentality is if it bleeds, it leads.
Uh-huh.
Because the news is no longer a service to the community. Money making endeavor.
It's infotainment. And everything is breaking news, and they try to keep your eyeballs glued to the news.
Because the more eyeballs you've got, the more engagement you've got with commercials that you can sell for larger because you've got a larger.
Yep.
Eat as needed. Every damn time.
Ad nauseum.
Yep.
You know,
And I'm really concerned now about ghost guns.
about what now?
Ghost guns, the ones that are 3D printed and no serial number, can't be traced.
I'm not, because it's not the ghost guns that are killing everybody.
Well, it's not, but you can take those and take, a little piece that you can make for 50 cents and turn it into an automatic weapon.
There is that. There is that. And that is a legitimate concern. But fortunately, right now, not a significant problem.
It will be.
It will be. You're right.
And I can see an incel getting a hold of something like that and showing up at a beauty pageant and just mowing everybody down. I can see it.
About to say, you're right. Something that needs proactively taken care
Sorry, I'm making noise. My volume is way high.
of. Right now, it's my. I'm not going to be able to. the only last thing that I've got to say before I turn it over. I've forgotten what the guy's name was off the top of my head, and right now I just don't. So, but sir, thank you for saying what decorum be.
Yeah.
And please don't stop saying it. And if they want to be tools and start bringing up some kind of ethics investigation about it, look them straight in the eye.
Yep.
You're not my representative. Just think. Guys, I'm going to turn it over to you because I'm not going to be.
I'm fine with it closing up short. I mean, we've packed a lot into a little bit. And I mean, I could go on for days. Like the fact that, um, you know, rather than worrying about gun control, DeSantis wants to focus on making books banned and tests have to follow Catholicism instead of knowledge, you know, and Virginia's doing their stupid shit. It's it's a derailment of everything. You know, the unions are screaming at us, "Hey, look, the stuff we fought for way back when, it's coming back. These companies are buying our politicians. These companies are, making it so that your children will have no choice because they won't have a proper education. They will be required to work in meatpacking plants without the plants getting fined. They will be losing fingers and eyeballs in their lives and shit. You've got, and then making it easier for uneducated people to have guns is, this is a I really want to leave. I really, really want, but I can't. This is how bad it's getting. And I still have people I live around that go, "Hey, I'm really hoping Trump wins the next one." And
Yep.
I don't engage in that conversation anymore. I can't
Well,
because they
yeah.
don't hear it.
Well, I mean, where I'm at now, yeah, I'll just tell everybody where I'm at now. I'm in Mississippi. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You have my sympathies.
Yeah, I need them.
There is only one bright side to that. It's temporary.
Yep. Just for 2 or 3 months.
Shorter than your fear.
Well, the only reason I don't have so much shit going on in mine is because so many politicians live in my state.
Oh, and you've got some decent ones up there.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead. Call us off. I know this is incredibly short, but like I said at the top, I've just got a lot of stuff that's weighing on me. So, thank you for being with us. Really do appreciate it. And please stay safe. If you want to get in touch with us, swing over to the website, holycrapthevlogcast.com. The contact info is there. The audio version of the podcast, you can grab it from over there. Phone number, if you want to leave a message, is 859-HCTV-554. 859-428-8554. You can find us over. No, I'm not myself. No, I'm not going to be for quite a bit, but I'll do.
Yep. All you can do.
We will see you all soon. I will let everybody know what's going to be happening. It's very likely pass a week. Regardless, I'll keep everybody up to. I wish you, as always, I no longer have. Wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you will. Coming up on 18 years, still love. Today, Fujin, I love you. Of me. Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
And until the next time we're together, always.